It is raining here in Accra. I am literally standing in the rain, y'all. It is raining. It is raining, but it's all good. The show must go on, okay? So, okay, it's getting worse. We need to get out the rain. Let's go rain. Let's get out the rain because it is getting worse. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Priscilla. I am a new Seattle-based flight attendant working with a major US airline company, and in today's video I will be reacting to my November flight attendant schedule. I haven't been a flight attendant for that long. I'm currently in my 6th month because we're in October right now, and I'm almost out of probation, so that's where we are. Alright, so for the month of October, these are the things that I bid for. I bid to avoid flying flight lead entirely. Like I just want regular position assignments, and then also I bid to avoid 3-day trips that were below 19 to 25 credit hours. That's what I bid for. So the first thing is to avoid flight lead, and then also to avoid any 3-day trips that has credit hours that are below between 19 and 25 hours. And then for 2-day trips, I bid to avoid 2-day trips that were below between 14 to 15 credit hours, and for 1-day between 14 to 16 credit hours. And then for 1-day trip, I bid to avoid 1-day trips that were below 10 hours. That was my bid for the trips. And then this time around also, I went into bid for specific rotations as well. So I did review our bid package and I bid for specific rotations as well, followed by me avoiding any domestic trip. As usual, I always add that to my bid. It's not necessarily because I'm trying to avoid working domestic trips, but then I'm trying to get the system or to add onto telling the system how to give me high credit trips. So what did I get? Let's get into that. It is raining here in Accra. I am literally standing in the rain, y'all. It is raining. It is raining, but it's all good. The show must go on, okay? I had to get out the rain, y'all, because your girl was getting wet, okay? We're getting wet here. So what did I get? So for my October schedule release, it was actually pretty good. Like I said, I did bid for specific rotations, and the specific rotations that I bid for, some were 3-day trips. Majority of them were 1-day trips. And for the most part, I got assigned 4 trips for the month of November. One of them was a 3-day trip, and then the other 3 were 1-day trips. The main reason why I bid for those 1-day trips was because to me, I feel it's easy to swap out of those and it's easy to move those around compared to 3-day trips. And for me, if I would be assigned a 3-day trip, I would want it to be a high credit 3-day trip, so it's worth my time, and I did get that as well. So as you will see, the trip that I have on October 3rd to October 5th is over 20 hours, so that's pretty awesome. And then the 1-day trips that I have, I believe, are worth like 6 hours, 7 hours or so. That's what they're worth, which is okay. But then they were also leanovers as well. So I'm not really a fan of leanovers. We got to swap out of that. I bid a commuter bid. Yes, I forgot to add that in the beginning. I did bid a commuter bid of 1 because I wanted to commute into base 1 time. I'm not a commuter, but then I just did that just to force the system to give me the trips back to back, or to stack my trips such that I can get more consecutive days off. And then the other thing that I also bid for was for my 8 days to start on November 1st. These days I prefer to work my 8 days first before any other assigned trip, because that way I know whether I get used or not, and then if there's a need for me to pick up more trips during the month. So that's what I try to bid for. I think I'm bidding for that wrong, or I didn't get it during that period simply because they wanted to give me 8 days on Thanksgiving weekend or a week or whatever, which is fine. I don't really care. Followed by my 8 days, which were assigned between the 22nd of November to the 27th of November. I also did bid for 8-day-6. I did not want 8-day-3 because these days we're not getting utilized as much as we did when I started. So I would prefer to have 8-day-6, which maximizes my chances of being used as well. And I don't really care whether it's 3 days or 6 days. I'd rather do it together and have my other days off all together elsewhere as well. So it's more beneficial to me. But some people do prefer 8-day-3s, 2 sets of 3 days with a day off or 2 days in between. So moving on. So what did I do? So once I received this schedule, our schedules are released on the 16th of the month prior. So the schedule for December, for example, will be released on the 16th of November. So once the schedule was released on that day, my only goal was to move or to get rid of those 1-day trips that I had in there. And because I had space in October, I swapped those 3 1-day trips into October. So I picked up a 3-day trip, which was worth, I believe, 20 hours in October, swapping out of those 1-day trips that I got assigned. This is why I always say that flight attendant schedules are very fluid. It's very flexible. You have a lot of control, at least once the schedule is released, you do to a large extent have a large amount of control over how you move things around and stuff like that. So it's never fixed. So that was the first move. I wanted to create as much room on my schedule as possible so that I can do whatever I want to do with it. So what I did essentially was to swap out of those 3 one-day trips from November and picked up a 3-day trip in October, leaving me with the 3-day trip that I got assigned already originally on the 3rd to the 5th of November, and then my 8 days, which is from the 22nd to the 27th of November. So my goal is that I do plan on seeing if I could swap my 8 days for actual trip, because if I'm able to do that, then I can actually swap them more. I can swap them into other trips that are maybe earlier on in the month rather than later in the month. So that's the goal. I'm trying to see if I could swap my 8 days for trips so I can have more control in terms of moving them around as well. And that's about it, y'all. Like, it's very simple. This month was very simple. I was a bit more strategic this month for the month of November. Like I said, I bid for specific rotations. I avoided flight leave because I'm out of probation. I will be out of probation by the month of November, and I don't want to flight lead. I'm not against it. If I do get it on my 8 days, that's completely fine. But I would rather just work for the positions, personal choice. Some people like flying flight leave because it gives them more control and they have their own space to operate and work in. But I don't really care whether I get it or not. But if I can avoid it, I would prefer it. That's my preferred choice, okay? But that's about it. And once again, I am coming to you all in a cross. So the background, the environment is all different. I'm not in the US right now while recording this video. But yeah, this is the flight attendant life. If you do have any questions in terms of the fit-in or whatever, kindly reach out to me in the comment section below, or drop a comment in the comment section below. Also, if you do have questions, I would say do not hesitate when your managers tell you to reach out to the schedule specialist, among other things, or your mentors. Do not hesitate to reach out to them, because they do provide like really, really good information with regards to your schedule and stuff like that. So reach out to them and then get as much help as possible to master how to bid for your schedule, because that can make or break your experience as a flight attendant as well. The least you can do as a new flight attendant, not getting the trips you want, is to at least know how to bid for certain things that you do want, you know? So keep that in mind. I will see you all in my next video. Bye. And then for one-day trips, I bid, oh, me record you.